2 days after bloody clashes in the US town of Charlottesville, Donald Trump has bowed to overwhelming pressure and made a second statement denouncing racism and hate groups. He's been under fire, though, for failing to single out the role of white supremacists in Saturday's brawls, which culminated in a car being driven into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing one woman.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
All that said, much of the media still criticised the president, though, for his delayed response, leading him to tweet that the fake news media will never be satisfied. He then headed to New York, where he was met by crowds of protesters outside Trump Tower, accusing him of racism. Next, Maupin this morning looks at how America's political debate is all about labelling.
One of the chants most frequently used at the protests is no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Essentially, Trump and his supporters are being barred with the same brush as white supremacists.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
He needs to be impeached, because if he is not impeached, this does not stop.
Drive out this fascist regime in the name of humanity.
Now, the suspect in the horrific Charlottesville car ramming was himself a member of the far right. But the mayor of the city was very quick to put his blame on the White House and President Trump, and he wasn't alone.
He should look in the mirror. I mean, he made a choice in his presidential campaign, the folks around with him, to go right to the gutter, to play on our worst prejudices, and I think you were seeing a direct line from what happened here this weekend to those choices.
Trump has made it clear, with Bannon and Gorka in the White House and the Klan in the streets, it is now the white supremacists' house.
The incitement of hatred that got us here is as real and condemnable as the white supremacists in our streets.
The Democratic response to the car ramming mirrors the way Republicans responded to the shooting at the congressional baseball practice. They blamed Democrats for stoking up the atmosphere, when in reality the attack was carried out by a lone wolf Republican hater.
You've had an increasing intensity of hostility on the left. This intensity has been building, I think, since election night.
The hyperbolic vitriol from the left has spurred threats and now action without historical parallel.
Events like today are exactly why we took issue with NY elites glorifying the assassination of our president.
Now, most Americans, liberal, conservative, or otherwise, are not violent. However, it seems like the leaders of the two major political parties try to make the other half of the electorate look like they are. And that seems to be mobilizing people in both camps.
You want to start some shit? Go ahead and demonize me. I don't give a f***.
The United States has created a political system in which demonizing one side means supporting the other side for many voters, those who haven't really learned that much about third parties yet. The solution to this is to reduce some of these impediments. We need a system in which political parties have to fight for their own ideas. They have to show why what they believe is good and why it's right and why it's an excellent idea, not just focus on demonizing the other side.
So no matter what your political outlook is, the best strategy seems to be the same. Generalize and demonize. Maupin, RT, New York.